Welcome, everybody. My name is Harri Tallinn. I am from Civita, and we are consortia lead for EUDIS Defence Hackathons and Mentoring Program, and we are very happy to see you all here. Today, you will hear a little bit more what we are looking for and what all the hackathon is about. So I will introduce quickly your agenda. So after we have some welcome words, and the introduction from me, we will talk a bit more about understanding what the EUDIS Hackathon is about, what the spring edition will bring us, and how the open call for hackathon organizers will work. Also, we give you some tips and tricks about how to successfully apply for this hackathon, and have also Q&A sessions and some closing remarks. And whenever you have something later upcoming in your mind and you want to ask, we will definitely share at the end also our context so that you can easily connect with us and ask whatever you have in your mind. For EUDIS Hackathon organizing team, as I said, I'm from Civita. We are the consortium lead, but with us are other consortium partners who make sure that all this initiative is taking place across Europe and is successful. We have Technopole Startup Incubator from Estonia. We have Secoforma from Brussels for the communications. We have Garza, who is managing the open call platform as such. And we are from Civita. We manage it centrally, and also we run the hackathon part. We are your helping hand in there to figure out how to do it the best way and how to be synced. And Technopole is the one helping to run the mentoring program later for the best teams of the hackathons. So this is very short about us, but let's go more to the more exciting stuff at the moment. So rules for this info session very quickly again, so that you know how to communicate during the session as well. All the questions what you have, please ask. We have Q&A button on top of the screen, and please push in your questions whenever you have them. Of course, you can listen a little bit in the beginning, maybe the answer comes already, but still, if you have it, just ask. Our team will reply to simple questions quickly also in the chat, but at the end also we will simultaneously either take it during the presentation by the presenter already or at the end. So it depends what questions you will have, but we will definitely answer all of them. Meeting as such, it will be recorded. It's recorded already. So it will be later published on the website as well. All the questions and answers, what you have, will also be published so that everybody is aware what's going on and how to handle the process of application to become hackathon organizer for this exciting initiative. So, but without further ado, I would like to give the screen over to Daniel Johansson from DEFIS, who is the policy officer and who is responsible from the European Commission side for this exciting project and very first initiative on this field from the Commission side. Please, Daniel, when you are ready, take it over, please.
Yes, I'm ready, Harry. Thank you very much for introducing me already. I will take the control and start doing it. So Daniel Johansson, I worked for the Commission now for 2 years, and most of the time I've been working on the hackathon. So it's very exciting contact that we have with Civita and their partners. So we launched it last year. So this will be the second edition of the hackathons. So very exciting to because we improved the work that we have done and through lessons learned, and now we are implementing them for this second edition. So very happy about that with lessons learned and improving through the way. So a little bit before we go into the details and the implementation work. So the hackathons are part of the EU Defence Innovation Scheme. We call it, the acronym is EUDIS, so it's a bit quicker to say than EU Defence Innovation Scheme. So this is something that we launched back in 2022. We saw that we needed more support for the SME startups and scale-ups and so forth. So we launched the EUDIS 2 years ago, and now it's up and running. Actually, it was up and running already 2023. So. And as I mentioned, it's for the startups, scale-up SMEs, and so forth, and the research organization. But in principle, it's support to the smaller entities, so SMEs and startups and so forth. And we have 1.5 billion euros that is will be invested up until 2027. And then after 2027, there will likely be much more than that. But 1.5 billion euros for support to startups and SMEs and so forth. It's a quite high ambition, I would say. So, but probably given the situation in Europe and globally, there will probably be more funding for the innovators in the next framework program from 2028. So this is support to help SMEs with various issues. So provide funds and so forth, legal support and mentoring. So hackathons it's an important tool for us. I go to the next one, and this is the European Defence Fund. So I'm working on the European Defence Fund projects as well. And it's actually the EDF that we call it that is financing the hackathons and the EUDIS. So the money is coming from the EDF. And as you see from this slide, I tried to put a little bit more, too much information perhaps in one slide, but on the left-hand side, you can see that the EDF is supporting research and development projects. It's not for acquisition, but there's no funding for acquisition. The reasoning is that we want the member states that take part in this project or support them, that they should actually acquire what are the results of these projects. We have 7.3 billion euros for 2021 to 2027. So 1.5 billion that I mentioned in the last slide comes from the EDF, as I mentioned. So quite a lot of funding that would probably be increased for the coming years. And if you look at the right side picture, you can see what are the actions that we can work on. And in principle, we can work on most issues relating to defense. And then you also see some dual use areas as well, cyber, for example, that we worked on for the first hackathon in May this year. So we are not really limited in the scope. So we use these actions, these areas, for example, the naval domain and so forth, as a baseline for these challenges that Civita will explain a bit later on. So that's the basis for what we do within the EUDIS and where the challenges scope and the funding comes from. So the EDF, you probably know about it, but I just thought that I should mention it as well. And then we have this support tracks. We have 5 of them for the EUDIS. So this support to the SMEs. We have the hackathons on the right-hand top side, as you see, that will be explained in this meeting. I won't say anything more about that. And we had the business accelerator as well. We will launch this service to startups and scale-ups in spring. So we plan to sign the contract next week. So there will be information sent out to you regarding this later on as well. So we see it as a natural next phase after the hackathons, so supporting startups and so forth with this kind of service. We have matchmaking as well, which is part of that contract. So that will be launched this spring as well, or next spring. And then we have access to finance. We have different grants and so forth. That is for more mature the mature SMEs and mid caps and so forth. But so we usually start with the hackathons and then accelerator, matchmaking and so forth, and going up to this grant phase. So that's a little bit about the EUDIS and the different support tracks that we have. So please check them out. I think you will find them very interesting. And then we have the hackathons, the EUDIS hackathons. As I mentioned, three bullet points where we find that they are really suitable and what are our aims of the hackathons. So the first one is we want to attract the innovators, usually younger ones, to the defense area, defense part. So that's a very important part, I should say. We also want this spin in, spin out between the defense and the civil sectors. So that is the second aim of the hackathons. And we also want what is produced and generated through the hackathons to benefit the military. So the military in EU member states and in Norway. So that is the aim of the hackathons. And as you see written there in italic, that for this hackathon, it will be very supportive to what is happening in Ukraine and the challenges that they face there. So that's a little bit of the focus for the 2025 hackathons. So support to the Ukrainian armed forces. And the novelties, I think this is the last slide from me, and then I will leave over to Civita. So we will increase the local organizers. We had 6 last time, so in May. So we're increasing local organized to 8 to spread the word, to spread the awareness of EDF and EUDIS hackathons. And we also extending the scope of who can take part in the hackathons. So now we're opening it up to Ukrainian citizens, so they can take part in the hackathon teams. They can be mentors, they can be speakers, and they can take part in the juries as well as a judge, selection board members. So that is something that will gain, of course, the hackathons and the results of the hackathons, and we will expand the awareness and the scope and reaching out to more people as well. So that's an important element, and I think Civita will come back to a bit later on regarding this part. So the entities, I just want to mention that the entities being local organizers cannot be established in Ukraine, so they have to be established in EU or Norway. But Civita will come back to that later. I just wanted to mention that already. And the second hackathon will also be hybrid makeathon hackathon option. So the first one was a little bit more on the hackathon part, but the second one will be more related to the practical aspects, the makeathon one. So there is also one important extension or that we did of the scope. So that's a good thing. I think I will just check quickly. Yes, so that was my last slide, and I remain in the meeting if you have any questions. And happy to meet you, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So thanks for a nice overview from the Commission side and why this all was brought into life. And we are extremely happy that this year edition brought in also Ukrainians, because this is why all those initiatives all over the Europe have really taken off. And it makes total sense, as we have also more than 100 people in our company in Ukraine. It touches our heart very much, so that real problems and solutions needed today very often are coming at the moment from there. So I really hope that this hackathon will be successful and will develop really new and interesting solutions for this purpose. But let's go further. And the next up is Andrea, who has been managing the hackathon program for 2024, and together with our team and Solvega here, they have been preparing for this edition, so what is upcoming, and of course with all the wider team who we have here. But Andrea, please take it over.
Thank you, Harry. Hi, everyone. Harry already introduced me. So I'm project manager at Civita, and yes, I've been involved in the design and also in the management of the previous edition. And that's also the reason why I will try to not be super long in the next slides. I have only 15 minutes, so I will try to focus on the most important elements for you for preparing a successful application. So Daniel has already anticipated several points. So let's start by the themes and challenges. So it's clear that this edition has the main aim to produce solutions that are relevant for the Ukrainian armed forces, as Daniel already mentioned. And as he has also already mentioned, the hardware or software solutions. So the challenges that have been identified are all of the three allowing the possibility of having both hardware or software solutions. And the main scope, of course, being with the focus of getting solutions for the Ukrainian battlefield, is that the solutions should be rapidly deployable, scalable, and cheap. So that's kind of the main focus of the solutions we are looking for with this edition. The challenges are looking on the different aspects considering the battlefield, meaning enhancing situational awareness and tactical surveillance, so enabling the Ukrainian forces to control their front lines better and more efficiently. Protection gear, so something to help to reduce injuries and casualties, and related to that, also the advanced medical support for frontline. So I will not delve deeper in the challenges. There definitely will be questions, so I will take them from there. But as Daniel already said, Ukrainian residents and citizens can participate in the hackathons. So already spoiling, that doesn't include the organizing the hackathon. So for the local organizers, we still have the requirement that EU or Norway residents and citizens can work in the hackathon organization and can have entities established in EU Norway. But for the participants, this limit is not there. And also for mentors, selection board members, as Daniel already mentioned. Another point is how the project itself works. So as already we know, we don't have any more 6, but 8 locations. They are hybrid hackathons, all synchronized through a central lab. This means we will have 8 winners, and all the 8 winners will get access to this special mentoring program. And after the mentoring program, which is the main difference from the last year, all the 8 will participate in a pitching competition to select the top 3. Now, how does it work, this synchronized approach? Is that all the hackathons, as we already discussed, have the same challenges, all are hybrid. There is a two-way streaming model, meaning that we will stream during the program from central lab, and you will stream back in some specific slots what is happening to keep everything synchronized, but also like to have this EU participation from not feeling so distant from all the other locations. But of course, we will leave most of the time in the agenda, as you have already seen, for working on the solutions, which is the main focus of why the team will be there. Of course, that means that we will have opening and closing from the central lab. So the announcement of the winners will happen at central lab, but that doesn't mean that the central lab will participate in the selection. The selections will be done by each local hackathon selection board. So we will just communicate jointly who are the 8 winners. And that means that we will all use the same standard evaluation criteria and process. The timeline, well, it started with the launch of the open call a few weeks ago. And the deadline, as you already know, is the 26th of January. Immediately after, from the 27th, we will start with our evaluation team, the eligibility check and evaluation of the applications we will receive. And we will communicate already from the 3rd of February who are the selected locations. Now, selection doesn't mean officially awarding, meaning that we might require from you, as you have seen from the open call text, some additional documents, for example, ownership declaration, meaning ensuring that your organizations are established in EU or Norway. And that means that you should check your inbox regularly. We will send the communications through our main email address, contact@eudis-hackathon.com. We will try to keep this process ongoing and very quick, meaning that by the 11th of February, we will expect to already have the kickoff, because the time, of course, it's tight, so we want immediately to start. And that will also include the launch of the participants' registrations and selections, which means that that process will start immediately when we have the awarded local organizers, and then we can proceed to open to the public to register, so that we have several months for allowing them and to start already promoting their participation. The weekend is not a singular one. It's the 9th of May. As you know, it's the Europe Day. So there is also a symbolical meaning, considering that it's not only Europe Day, but it's also the Victory Day in Russia. So it's definitely a symbolical date. And I know that in some cases there might be holidays, but on another point that was selected, that included the selection of this date, is that you might have the possibility in this way to include initiatives promoting European Union together with the hackathon program, meaning that that should support your synergies with their ecosystem. Then the mentoring program will start right away after the hackathon weekend, and it will last 2 months, where the 9th of July we will have the live pitching. So that's the timeline, very briefly. The local organizers will receive the support that you already saw probably from the open call text. So we will have a kickoff and onboarding meeting, which will explain in detail what are your steps to follow for the organization, what kind of support we will provide you in daily basis. And we will also set up on coaching calls and hackathon guidebook, which will be online. It's already prepared. We will share with the winners, and then they will have like a wiki where you can check all the elements necessary to support your preparation. Of course, that also includes the use of templates, materials, design. We will work in synchro also in that sense, and we will allow also the creation of a cloud space, meaning that we will have a space for sharing materials in a safe and secure way among each other. And yeah, of course, the local organizers also will be responsible to promote among your network and your community. The central lab will support on you at EU level and beyond, considering also we have Ukraine. But definitely, it's really important, this aspect. So to be part of the local community and to make sure that it's involved in order to have to meet the requirement, as you know, KPIs of 50 participants in your hackathon. The mentoring program itself, it's 2 months. So the teams will receive individual mentoring with defense expert, innovation expert, business expert, investors. They will also have access to individual mentoring session with field experts, also related to the challenge they've selected and won. And there will be also several collaborations and multiple activities with defense stakeholders and preparation also for the pitching event and beyond. What it's not mentioned here is that the top 3 winning from this EU pitching in July will have access to the participation of international event, where they will also be allowed to pitch and network with the defense, European defense ecosystem. Now, going back to the local organizers, as we said, the eligibility criteria is that any private or public entity which is established in EU or Norway and is not subject to control to non-associated countries or third countries can participate. And that is related also to infrastructure, facilities, assets, and resources. So this is a requirement that, as I said, we might ask you later to validate. Regarding the specific requirements at organizational and technical level, of course, the location needs to be suitable for an hackathon for 50 participants. So it shouldn't be too tight, I guess. and should, of course, meet the communication criteria that you have seen into the call text, meaning that it should be also having a stage area, having a space where the interviews, for example, can be done, or a space for the mentors to have private meetings with the teams. So classical hackathon venue and location. Regarding the, as I already mentioned, the working personnel in for the local hackathon must be EU citizen and resident. But regarding mentors, selection board members, speakers during the program, that also includes Ukraine. Of course, all participants must be adults. And yeah, as a base requirement is that you have at least organized one defense hackathon or any innovation program with at least 30-50 participants. Then there are very specific criteria, as you can see. I'm not going to go through everything, but in general, of course, what we are looking for is to have organizations who know how to deal with this type of events, meaning that they also have capability in terms of personnel. So at least a project manager to keep on going the communication with us, event production, marketing for the communication, nothing unusual. And what is really important, of course, is that being a streamed hackathon in some parts of the agenda, the digital connectivity is a very important requirement, together, of course, with the financial capability to provide, to collect sponsorships and to allow the possibility to provide prizes to the winners of the hackathon, local hackathons. And then, of course, in terms of security and data protection, this is a defense hackathon, so it's really important that your team is, of course, trained on cybersecurity measures and data protection management. These criteria are going more specifically on the broadcasting, as I mentioned before, but what I will stress important among them is the access to defense, not only mentors, but also ecosystem, meaning that it's a defense hackathon. So we would expect to have a team and an organization who is in partnership or is directly involved into defense initiatives, and it's collaborating with defense institutions across your area. So that's really important, not for us, but rather for you and for the teams, meaning that what is really important is to give to the teams a real value with this event. So that can happen only if you are capable to provide a very relevant structure around it. And of course, also the communication and promotional activities. The timeline is tight. We are aware of that. I guess everybody is aware. So we need to start from the moment that you're selected a very strong communication campaign. Our team will support you, of course, but what is important is that you also know how to operate in this area. Therefore, that's why it's an eligibility criteria. And the other connected to it is to tap into network that have a pool of participants that you can rely on. But regarding the eligibility of the proposal themselves, you have probably already seen from the call text. So the submission deadline is 26th of January, midnight, 11:59. And then Francisco from CARSA will explain specifically how to submit the proposal. But what is important is that we will have a technical project description to evaluate, your CVs from the team that will be involved, and a communication and dissemination plan for the event, and an overview of how do you see the financial contribution that will be given from us to you and how to spend it, meaning simple overview of the 24,000 that will be given to the local organizers, and how do you see to spend that budget. Important on that aspect, just a reminder, it's already written in the call, but the 24,000 cannot include prices, meaning that the 24,000 that will be given to you from our contracts are not eligible for prizes. So the prizes, if you want to have them in your hackathon, needs to come from other sources. It's specified also in the annex and in the call text, but just in case to remind. And that was my last slide. So now I will give the floor to Francisco, who will explain exactly how the application system works.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. Francisco, you can take over the control and talk quickly
I think
how it works.
Yes, I think I have it here.
Great.
Yes. Hello, good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending this webinar. My name is Francisco Ujam. I'm from CARSA, a consultancy company for innovation, technology, and internationalization, based here in Spain. We also were in charge of the EUDIS Hackathon last year's edition 2024, and we are responsible for the platform that you will be using for submitting your applications, and we will be using also for managing the evaluation of your applications. So what you can see now on the screen, I think your the URL, the access to the platform to make your applications, or you can directly go to that URL or through the EUDIS website. We have actually tried to make let's say the process simple for you, so you can mostly concentrate on preparing a good application, complying with the requirements and giving us the best possible information possible in order to evaluate your application. So the first thing to do would be to register in the platform. Again, we have made a process which will try to be very simple and just to provide just a very minimum amount of information so we can proceed with the evaluation. So here you can see let's say the interface for the login and also for the registration. You can also already access the guide for applicants. For the code text, you will find all the details and requirements to participate in this code. Let's see if I can move to the next one. Yeah. So first step, registration with very basic information about yourself or your organization, who you are. Let's remember that registration is based on will be done on a personal basis. You will be representing your organization, so it's you as a user of the platform who will be representing the organization and submitting the proposal. But you have to provide some information about your organization, and just click on filling that say that part and simply register. Okay. So once you've done that, you'll be able to start the process by clicking here on start. And the next times if you for whatever reason you log off and you log in afterwards, you can always click on my application, and you will start where you left your application. Okay, so you can. So this means that we always suggest or recommend that you save every step that you make during the process, so you can get back anytime later on and continue with the let's say data input. Once you've started the process, you will have to let's say confirm that you are applying or you're complying with the requirements Andrea was telling you about a few minutes ago. All of them have to be, let's say, confirmed with a simple yes on the screen. Okay, so make sure that you read the requirements carefully, that you are sure that you can comply with them, all of them, because otherwise, should you click or let's say do not confirm any of the 13 requirements listed there, you won't be able to proceed with the application. Okay, so the system is built that way. So we need your explicit confirmation that you comply with all the requirements there. Okay, just simply go each one by one, confirming them, and just let's move to the next step, which is basically providing or uploading the 4 elements also Andrea was telling you about a few minutes ago, which is the technical description of your application, of your project. What is your proposition or proposal all about? Who are you? How you will implement the eventual hackathon? Then the CVs of the personnel who will be involved in the implementation of the hackathon. You may upload at least three CVs, but you can upload more. Simply clicking on Add CV on the orange button on the right that you can see now. Next part would be the 2 annexes we were referring also to. First one, the communication and promotion plan, and also your budget expenditure, let's say, plan for the 24 case that Andrea was telling you about. Okay, so these 4 elements: technical description, or let's say the technical proposal, where you describe and explain how you will what would be the elements of your hackathon implementation, the CVs or the profiles of your team, the marketing and communication plan, and the budget plan, let's say, and that will be it. You may have access to the templates there, clicking on accessing to the template, and then you download the template, you fill in the information, and then you will be uploading there as well. Okay, so when you finished, you simply click on the submit button, and that will be it. Firstly, as you can see in the upper part of the page, you will have to provide, let's say, a name for your project or for your proposal, and an acronym. Okay, and you will be done. Okay, so very, very simple: registration, filling, confirming requirements, and uploading documentation that is required. As simple as that. Just one important thing also for you maybe to know, that you may submit as many let's say versions of your application as you may want before the deadline. So our recommendation, maybe that would be something that we'll be discussing in the recommendation and the tips. Don't leave it for the last moment. Okay, just make sure that you have a full, complete, let's say, nice application in advance, maybe the day before or the week before, and you may always be able to improve that and provide further information before the deadline. Okay, so and also another recommendation would be to always make sure that the data that you entry in the system that is confirmed by a save button. You always have a save button there. So if you in the middle of the process you have to leave, or you need to attend other duties, you can always go back and continue with the application process. But always please click on save. So that'll be, I guess, from my side. We can maybe address some questions later on, but once you submit, you will receive, let's say, a simple pop-up window there telling you that you have successfully submit your application, and that'll be it for you. Okay, so yeah, very simple. And let's move on to the tips for successful applications, who might contain some of for the part of the platform. So yeah, get back to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Francisco, for the very thorough overview of the platform. And it should be quite simple, actually, so, because as you saw, most of the stuff is creating an account and uploading the right documents to the right place. So really simple procedure as such for you. And maybe very quickly, a couple of tips and tricks. And meanwhile, I'm reminding you that if you have questions, please write them to Q&A. We might answer some in written if they're very simple and quick ones, or explain a little bit more about some topics which might be needed to explain. And of course, you can ask them anytime further as well. So just a couple of things. We don't go very technical, and these are rather related to explaining what is really important in our mind and based on the previous experience as well. So what to take into account, definitely bring out what similar type of activities you have done, and very good if you have been running something on defense field before as well. Related to the defense connection, as it was mentioned several times before by previous speakers, different ones, that linkage to the defense sector as such is really, really important for us. And as you saw from the goals and challenges, it's very clear why we are doing it. So make sure that you bring in your ecosystem players from the defense field, from the ministry, from armed forces, from different organizations working with SMEs on the defense field. There are many different ones in every country, but different depending on how the structure is set up in each country. So we hope that you have connections, or you are able to establish connections before you need to push the final button on the Garza platform to submit your application. The better you bring it out, the better it is for us also to see that what you can bring on the table and what kind of hackathon you are planning. And as it was said, also that it's hardware and software. So if you have this hardware element, definitely bring it out how you support the teams during the hackathon with this hardware element. Either you have different labs, or you'll have different supporters who provide different bits and pieces to build from. All those things. Just think through what you really want to focus on, and please mention it in your application as well. Participants, very important. As it was said, 50 participants is the minimum, plus mentors, organizers, etc. We would say that it's quite small target actually, and would be nice to have much bigger hackathon. So please think about it, and let's really try to make impact by each country. But this is the minimum. But our expectation would be a little bit higher. You can think about it. You can talk with your team, and maybe you can show your ambition in your application form as well regarding this one, that what is kind of realistic, but at the same time a bit more ambitious goal maybe as well for you. And the networks of the, it's related very much to your previous experience, so that bring it definitely out, that what kind of networks you have. Is it then in the defense field? Is it in the universities? Is it in the founder societies of different startup founder societies or different countries also who are really eager to jump on board of the defense field today? For example, in Estonia, Estonian Founder Society is running defense tech events. Already 5 events have been happening in 1 year period. So similar initiatives, if you have around, please try to connect them, try to bring them on board as well. And of course, different groups and initiatives where also Ukrainians are involved, who want to be involved in those kind of hackathons as well in your country, and also from Ukraine. You can look for relevant mentors and supporters for this in that sense. So these are the first things we wanted to bring out here. Then, as Andrea also brought out the sponsors, so that always in the hackathons you want to award the best teams, best of the best at the end of the mentoring program. They will get also to the bigger event where they can pitch and network with investors and ecosystem players, also from the defense field. But on local level, you are selecting winners of your hackathon, so to make their effort worth and to help them to build further their MVP or any other type of solutions what they have or want to pivot to the defense field, which is also okay. And the best teams, from each location, one of the teams will get then also do the mentoring program that was mentioned. But on top of that, it's last year also we had local hackathon organizers who provided opportunity to join incubator, accelerator, pre-accelerator type of activities also in local country on top of it. So it's you can think what's most relevant in your case. We are not limiting you here. We have just some requirements that there should be something, and these are in the open goal document as well. These have been actually gone through by Andrea a little bit already as well, so that to make sure that the experience for online and offline participants is pleasant for both sides. From the last year's experience also, we expect that most of the hackers want to gather together and be physically on the spot, but to give opportunity also for online participants. And this is why it's meant to be also hybrid, so that they can also get the experience and they want to contribute if they really want to, so that they can do it. Start searching for the mentors and jury members early already as well. If you can bring out some names who are confirmed already, it's always a plus for you, so that we can see that you have people from MOD, from armed forces, from some other relevant organizations, investors as well, especially if they are defense tech investors. So these are all the good people to engage as early as possible. Plan very well your resources and activities and show it as well to us that you know what you are doing. I'm pretty sure that all of you who are here, you know it, but very often in different applications, in different projects, we see that especially people who know it, and we know they know it, but if you don't put it on paper, we cannot evaluate it accordingly. So you need to put it on paper as well, so that it comes through that, yes, you are very, very good partner to organize this event. And Andrea brought out also that we will have coaching calls. I would say these are other calls where we together discuss different topics according to the timeline when we get closer to the hackathons, that how to do it the best way. We have some centrally guidelines, as it was mentioned, and we have also centrally different templates for you and tools you can use. So this is the place also to sync with each other, with all 8 hackathon organizers plus Central Hub. And if there are some questions, worries, we can address them together, and also we can learn from each other, so that if some hackathon organizers are doing something really good and very many people are starting to register there and want to take part of it, they can share also tips and tricks how they made it happen if somebody else maybe has a little struggle with it. So this is why we have those calls, so that we feel like one team as well to organize it in 8 locations at the same time across Europe, because it is very unique to do it in this way, and it has a really powerful effect if it's done in a correct way. And it was, from last year experience, we can say that it was really cool and nice to work across different countries all together. Did we have any other questions, or do you have any other questions on top of what we were speaking? We are very happy to answer it. I'll push the button of Q&A as well, if there is something. First question, can you reach out to the participants directly, or is it communication done via the Central Hub? First, I can give the word also to Secoforma to comment it, but very shortly, yes, the local organizers are the first contact point who will reach out to their communities, and this is something we expect as well. But from Secoforma, somebody wants to comment on top of it?
Hi, Harry, thanks. But I think you've answered the question already. Indeed, the local organizers are going to be the first line of communication. So you can definitely reach out, and we encourage you and we expect you to reach out to participants directly, and in fact to drive your communication efforts with support from us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Is it possible to organize only an on-site event with no online participants? Well, by default, it should be hybrid. So if you write it in a way, in application that you want to do offline only, and some others are doing both, then I think it's your disadvantage. in this case. Daniel, do you want to comment on top of it? Because our common goal here was that these are the hybrid ones this year.
Hi, no, I was just wondering if we can obtain all the 50% participants on site or more. Is it necessary to have also online participants in the hackathon?
Requirement to have online participants? No.
Yes.
If nobody wants to be online, then of course you don't need to do it.
Okay, thank you.
But you need to be ready for this if it happens that some people want to be online. Yeah, sorry. No, good. Is UltraHack responsible again for the platform? No, we are using this time Taikai platform. So it's audited and ready to use platform. And they are partner for this year. And at Civita, we are responsible to taking care of the platform and setting up everything on that one. Do we have any restrictions to other sponsors, partners to the hackathon? Not really, but I think the same applies, EU, Norway, and no control from other countries. Daniel, do you want to say on top of that something from Commission view as well?
No, it was a comment on the previous one on UltraHack. So they are not taking part anymore in this project. As Harry mentioned, it's Civita who is doing that part now. There was a decision not to use the services of UltraHack anymore. So they're not part of the contract anymore.
Sorry, can I add to the question? I wanted to add if so then everything will happen on Discord again, or this time it will be because Discord was kind of the main platform and we had to kind of have all those communications going through there. And also I wanted to ask if there will be a separate landing page for every country and how big of an impact every country could have on their own landing page, because I know that it's always kind of restricted and not easy.
Andrea.
Yeah, this was an aspect that we took into consideration with this new edition. And that's why when we were selecting a new platform, we wanted to make things simpler. So Discord will be still existing, but Discord will be mostly and almost only relevant for the participants, meaning that the streaming will not be there. It will be through the Taikai specific landing page, meaning that it will save you several issues with connection and synchronization with the central hub from that aspect. And regarding the autonomous page, yes. So I think you can, if you go to the Taikai platform by now, you can see the Cassini Hackathon Defense. And that's kind of inspirational for you to look, because this is how it will look. But the difference from Cassini to us is that each local organizer will have his own page in Taikai, registration page, which will be administered jointly with you, meaning that you will also have the admin access to that. So you will be able to see who registered, you will be able to see their contacts. And so I think there was also another question about how to contact the participants. You will be allowed to contact them through the data that they have shared in the registration pages. So we want to keep it as flexible as possible for you and avoid the centralization problems that might come, that maybe you need to change the page, but then we need to change it for you and so on. So it will be a joint administration of these registration pages. There will be 8 different, so everybody will be seeing EUDIS Defence Hackathon, I don't know, France, EUDIS Defence Hackathon, Germany, and so on. And then they will click and register in each page. So the page will be managed jointly.
Yeah, and for central information, we have the web page. This is where you can have information about the open call at the moment on top of it. And there we will have the central activities to guide everybody to the hackathons in general. But this is also why every hackathon organizer now has more power in their hand. You do your own promotion in your channels and in your communities to involve the hackers and partners, and also you will have access to the data of the people which are coming to your hackathon. So you can really see in live what is happening. You don't need to ask from us every day how many participants we have registered. You can see it yourself from the platform. And the hackathon page itself, yeah, we will have this similar structure for everybody, but you can, and the main information is also same for everybody, but on certain pages on the hackathon platform. But you can update your mentor lists and stuff like that on your own as well. So this is again that you have more autonomy. Okay. Is it possible for a consortium of 2 or more entities to submit an application? Or does it have to be a single entity? Do you mean if do you mean that can you form consortium to apply for this hackathon? Yes, of course you can. We don't have restrictions there, but then for everybody in the consortium, same applies, EU, Norway organizations. If there was something else behind the question, please ask over.
It was just that. Thank you.
Okay. I was going to add, in terms as far as the platform is concerned, there will be just one application. Okay, you will have to explain who's part of your consortium in the technical part of the project, let's say, and submit just one application, and only one let's say one person will have access
responsible.
to responsible for the submission of the application, right?
Okay.
Maybe a little bit related to that, what we had last year also, that as you saw in the open call also, that there will be selected one organizer per one country. So that if there are like 5 from Poland applying, maybe everybody has really, really good applications, but we can select only one from Poland. So communicate in your community as well that who will apply, and maybe it's better to form consortium. And it's okay also have inside the country healthy competition. Why not? but just that you are aware of it, that it goes per country. Last year we had it in 6 countries, as it was mentioned. What else? So I see question. It's a long one, so I didn't see the end. Marika has from Darkstar the question. Branding communication. How should it look like? The branding will be given by Secoforma. Do you want to? And it comes what we have centrally developed together with the European Commission and EUDIS. So again, maybe Secoforma, if you want to comment on it a little bit, how it looks like.
Thanks for this question. So we have a visual identity and branding for the EUDIS Defence Hackathon that's been developed by us. And so we expect that this branding, that all the communication and branding aligns visually with this visual identity, just so that there's cohesion. And so if the question you're asking is whether you can include your logo, and the name of the organizer, that's a different question. But if it's about just the branding and the visual identity, then we expect that you will be using the visual identity that we have designed. And we will, if you do get selected as a local host organizer, we will provide templates and brand guidelines and communication toolkits, social media toolkits to help facilitate the branding. So we try to make your lives much easier when it comes to design and identity. Hope that helps.
And actually, the second part of the question was that can also be communicated in the local organizer. Yes, it can.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
And also your partners can also be communicated in your hackathon. Yeah, do we support funding for the hackathon? Andrea actually covered it as well. So there is 24,000 euros per hackathon organizer. So if all the KPIs are met, this is the amount you will get from us. We know that creating a good hackathon, especially a hardware one, requires that you will find additional funding from your local ecosystem as well, or sponsors, partners. But yeah, 24K is coming from us. So this is something you can rely on. Plus, on top of that, a little bit more via communication support as well. So let's see what else we have here. Timeline of the hackathon itself is a question. Is it 72 hours? It's from Friday evening until Sunday afternoon, late afternoon. So the timeline example is also in the open call document. You can check it from there. Very typical hackathon format in that sense. And it's over the weekend from Friday evening to Sunday. For the autumn hackathon, do we have date? We have actually in mind some dates. Andrea, do you want to comment it?
Yeah, we do have some dates, and we do have more or less the time frame, so around autumn, so around October, November. But maybe just to specify, winning this open call does not grant the autumn edition. There will be another open call for local organizers where we will select the 8 for the autumn edition.
Exactly. Yeah. Another question related to the budget. How has it been allocated for the organizers? Is there information regarding budget allocation and spending? Andrea, do you want to take this one as well?
Yeah, very simple. This it's up to you in the sense that there is a specific annex. As I said, the only restriction is that you don't use this 24,000 for prizes. That's the only thing. And that you keep in mind that our consortium will contribute in your communication expenses on top of this 24,000 for 1,250. But that will be dedicated through Secoforma as communication partner will address your communication plans, and then you will jointly decide what will be spent through this budget. But that's only for this 1,250 euros. For the 24,000, everything except the prices.
So this is also a good question. Can you focus only on one challenge?
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Well, I would say no, in the sense that we need to guarantee to all the people that register access to facilities or like resources that can be valuable for all the 3 challenges. By saying that, of course, it means that when you will have your final registration for a number of participants, and if they all applied for one challenge, is that we cannot do much. But definitely, you should have a horizontal looking at all the challenges. You should try to attract every possible team, basically.
Yes, I agree. Seems that I have checked through all the questions which we have at the moment. If there's anything else, I will wait some half a minute or so, because sometimes it takes time for people to figure out the question and ask it. I think we can stop sharing as well.
How can we get the copy of the presentation? Could you help?
Yeah, info session will be published on the website, Q&A as well. But you mean slides?
Yes.
Yeah. Can we publish them also on the website? Why not?
Yeah, I think in addition, perhaps Secoforma can send the slide deck to the all registered participants.
Yeah, maybe that's the best way. Yeah, I agree.
So at least we ensure that you get it immediately.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
I have a question, if I may. Is there any other specific requirement? I have a question, if I may.
You have some loud noise on the background.
I'm
I thought
sorry.
that it wasn't you.
Girl. I'm sorry. So about the participants, is there any other like specific requirements for the target group? So maybe what education or what skills or something specific, or the age gap, what should they be?
Yeah, Andre.
Yeah, we don't have any specific requirement, meaning except the age and residency and citizenship, meaning that everybody can participate. And the reason of this is because these initiatives should are open innovation initiatives, so everybody should be able to apply. Of course, there are like in the different hackathons, there are different criteria, but in this case, we want to promote access to defense innovation and defense industry in multiple ways, meaning that some team of students can participate as a team of a startup or as a team of a defense company. Maybe they, I think in the past we actually had all the three types of that I mentioned. We had a team from like a defense big company. We had a team from just a group of students that actually won one of the hackathon, and so on. So it's open to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and definitely we are happy to see also some more mature teams to come with really interesting solutions. What we are looking at the moment, at the end, how much they have actually developed during the hackathon and later during the mentoring program. So that if somebody is coming with a ready-made solution but doesn't develop anything further, it doesn't mean that they will win if their solution looks on that moment when put together or side by side with the others that they just have very much better solution, but we need to look the progress of the hackathon as well for those teams, so that really somebody is not coming to just showcase and to do nothing actually during the hackathon. Then there's no point to have those participants. But it's typical to all the hackathons usually. So
I think we got additional questions.
I will check. Selection criteria for the local organizers. Yes, in open call guide, these are there, and eligibility ones Andrea was also explaining already. So they are there in the open call guideline. I think we didn't have a slide for it, but they're very clear and concrete there. So Bartos has a question.
Yes, thank you. I just wondering about the citizens of Ukraine. As I understand, they are allowed to participate in the hackathon as participants. But so if we are going to have them as hybrid, so the remote participants, I understand that they can connect from Lviv or Kiev as an online team. As far as we have our team full EU citizens plus Norway.
Yeah.
Do we?
For me, it looks like this, and we can ask over also from Daniel. But this is also our understanding that this is okay.
Yes, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And will you expect from us any vetting of people, of participants, or you will help with vetting of participants?
Andrea?
Because I can see that this is there is a slight risk, a very small but slight risk with online participants.
Yeah, indeed. And well, the main tool that for sure will allow this checking is the TAICA itself, meaning that when somebody registers, it's not automatically participant, meaning that you will have to evaluate their profile, and you can also double check their ID and residency. Of course, there are several tools that can automatize this. we actually are working now on a potential idea, but at the moment, there is nothing specific from our side except support in the validation, so manual support. But we are looking for some automation tool that can actually support this process much more faster.
Well, we can
But in
suggest,
general,
but it
yeah.
is currently relying on the local organizers. Yes, this is one of the tasks of the local organizers to be sure that participants are eligible participants. We don't do it centrally. We can suggest you some tools, like Estonian system Verif, for example. Not too expensive and quite easy to use as well. But it's up to you. When it's physical hackathon, what's kind of easy. So you can, when participants show up, you can do it. But before you get them to the platform, you need to make sure also that there are not random people. So it's a tricky one, I know. But last year it worked. Different organizers had a little bit different approaches, maybe, but it was okay. Something to figure.
Understood, and thank you for support.
Yeah, sure. Happy to think along how to do it the best way.
I have also another question, maybe about platforms. I was wondering how many platforms altogether in this hackathon are going to be used if I understand correctly. So the Taikai will be used for participant registration and perhaps live streaming during the hackathon weekend. Also, I heard something about Discord. So I just want to understand how many platforms should be used. Are some of them optional or not? So can you please explain that part to me?
Yeah, the two you mentioned are kind of mandatory in that sense that Taikai will be used as a CRM tool, basically, for the participants, registration, involvement, and participation in the hackathon, together with Discord. The platform are linked, meaning that you can also open now, as I said, using the Cassini Defence Hack as an inspiration. When people register and gets validated in the Taikai platform, they will also have a button to join the Discord channel related. So it will be created by us, a Discord channel similar to the one of last year, just without any additional tool basically to be integrated to. Beside these two, anything else is optional. Probably there might be something for the streaming to like as a studio to manage the different streaming locations. For that aspect, it will come more when you will be when the validations of the applications will be completed during the coaching call from the beginning in February. Everything will be explained, but that it's rather technical, meaning that that's just about the video streaming itself from your side, not about the management of the people participating in the hackathon. So yeah, Taikai and Discord.
Is Discord mandatory?
Yes, because Discord will be kind of the central hub in that sense. So the participants will be able to get in touch with each other from the different locations through Discord. And you will also have your local area boxes where you will be able to communicate directly only with the registered in your location or with the others as well. So Discord is basically mandatory in the sense because it's kind of part of the central hub in that sense.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. From Ukraine. Can only civilians join or also active military background participants? So there's no specification about that. It's just citizens of Ukraine. So both are eligible if they are citizens of Ukraine.
But I understand that people have to understand that their image can be used by EUDIS as pictures from events, and that the description of solution, especially winning solution, can be published. So I understand that people have to take this into consideration participating in the hackathon.
Yeah,
Indeed.
this is true, but there are also the ways to agree on some of the things, you know, with the images and stuff. And if a person is there and don't want to get on any of the pictures, so it can be managed locally as well, so that to ensure that it doesn't happen then. Especially if you think about some mentors, maybe then it's fine. Descriptions of the ideas, it depends how you describe them, how broadly you put them as well. So if it's really sensitive information, you shouldn't put it out there anyway. It doesn't matter if it's defense hackathon or just business idea. So it depends how you describe some things as well. But definitely something we can discuss and talk further, that how to handle different situations.
Yeah, I think we have a case last year in Greece, similar.
Yeah.
And like as usual, these people did not sign the consent, so they were marked so that the photographers knew that these people were not had to be included in pictures, and all the pictures or videos taken with accidentally with them were removed. So that's also part of our compliance with the GDPR, no matter military or civilian. And there will be a consent form in Taikai, but definitely I suggest to do it also in person there at the hackathon, just to remind them, specifically for these cases. And in addition to that, regarding the idea and solution, so Taikai allows to publish or not your idea, either either just the title. So that will be entirely up on the participants to decide how much they want to share. And that's in the platform. In the hackathon, of course, it will be restricted confidentiality towards all the participants of the hackathon and the locations. So there will be NDA basically.
Mm-hmm. Is there a link to the Cassini Hackathon series again? For example, inviting teams which participated in the defense hack under Cassini. Not direct from us, but if you have the teams and you organized, you are okay to ask them to join this one as well. If you are allowed to do it by the GDPR and it's in the respective conditions. I know that Taikai itself is also promoting different hackathons on their platform to people who have registered on their platform in general through all the hackathons, and if they have given consent to receive such kind of promotion.
Just a comment there, Harry,
Yeah,
from me. Actually, the second hackathon next or in the autumn will be a joint hackathon with them. So we are working with them, of course, on this, and so they come from the same organization. So it's I come from DFIS A3, which is the unit being responsible for the EUDIS hackathons, and the colleagues doing the other one is from DFIS B2, and so we work jointly, of course. And we also took part and helped with the organization with the last Cassini Hackathon. Was 3 weeks ago, wasn't it? On the 22nd to 24th of November. So so we do this with each other. So yeah, the comment on that one.
Great, thanks, Daniel. Okay, I guess we had quite many questions, which is good. Then it's more clear for everybody what is expected and what is needed. But whenever you have some questions, you can address them to our general email. One more jumped in right now. Is it possible for a local organizer to expand the hackathon with industry partners regarding sponsorship? Andrea, do you want to answer this one as well?
I would definitely say it's welcomed. It's exactly what we're looking for. So very nice to know that there are these possibilities already from the question. Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. The hackathon itself should not be a single thing, but rather a showcase also of your local ecosystems. You can check the previous edition hackathons to see how do they do that. And of course, what is really very much welcomed is any possible synergies with your defense, either organizations, so MODs or even military or defense industry. And in the past, in the 6 locations, those were really enhanced in some cases with even visits to defense locations and everything. So it's very much welcomed. Yeah.
You can use this hackathon also as a very good opportunity to bring different organizations on the field and not on the field, let's say regular startup ecosystem founders, organizers, to bring them together and start the conversation if they don't have it yet, or you want to start it with them. So this is a really good opportunity for that as well. So use it up for sure.
Same for investors, maybe just
definitely.
They are also very much welcomed, especially considering the post-hackathon phase. So it's definitely another aspect to take into account. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here's a question. Do you have resources on what to arrange in terms of tools and materials for the hardware part of the hackathon?
Good question. Well, from our side, it's rather the financial support that we will give you. And case by case, if there is something that we can support with our network on how to reach, definitely possible. But how to say it in like sense, it depends a lot on what type of solutions we will apply in your location, meaning that you should think on what type of tools and materials might be required considering the challenges, and based on that look around, because of course, like I don't know, like some things are very basic, I don't know, 3D printer, and then definitely relevant for a hackathon. Some maybe could be a plus. So it's like these probably will be addressed very much more in detail during the coaching calls. And what's also important is that in the coaching calls, we will have joint calls with all the 8 participants, local organizers. So it will be also a moment to exchange synergies also on this point, like how other locations are doing, what type of resources and tools are offering, so that they can also inspire each other on how to align on this aspect. Yeah.
But this is also one of the topics why we have open calls for the hackathon organizers, because otherwise we could as well do it on our side, or commission would do it from their side, that we just do hackathon ourselves and just different participants from different countries can join in. But it's just, it's a lot of work, and this is why we partner up with different organizers from different countries. And this is why all this call is set up like this, and all the project is set up like this, so that the most competent service providers across Europe can jump in and bring on the table what they have and how they can support the best way and the goals of this hackathon series. And that's why we have this open call in general. Okay, time is starting to finish up. Is there anything to finalize from our side? Something more to add from Enola or Daniel or Andrea or Francisco? Thank you, Marika. Yeah. Okay, seems to be clear. Again, once more, I hope that we can cooperate. We are really eager to look forward to work with you. So please apply. Don't be afraid. It's not long application either. One way, yes, we require quite a lot of information, but from the other way, we have limited also the page amount, so you don't need to write us 100 pages to keep things simple and just to show that what you can do and what you have done and how you plan to do it. That's kind of the 3 key points, how you can make it happen. Here at the context also in the call. Thanks, Andrea, for sharing. And you can have more information from the EUDIS Hacks homepage or just write us. Thank you so much. I hope to see you pretty soon.